Which was north of Jinja, but in a very remote area. And this was where the guy who met me at the airport had grown up, and he'd subsequently migrated to the U.S., but he moved back into it. So he took me into this village, and at first I didn't see any women. I just saw the men hanging out. I said, "Where are the women?" I said, "They're waiting for you in the schoolhouse." So I went in there, and all the women were there, and there were probably 40 of them, and so I started to explain through my Ugandan friend who translated for me how the village bank would work and everything, and the women were almost totally quiet. They looked kind of intimidated and scared, frankly. The men, the husbands, were all hanging in the window looking through, what's going on in there. And finally, one woman stood up and said, how big are the loans you're talking about giving us? And I said, well, we'll start with 50,000 shillings, which back then was $50. And she literally almost fainted. She said, my God, I couldn't possibly handle a loan that big. I said, well, don't worry about it. You don't need to borrow 50. You can borrow 10 or 20, whatever you want. So, anyway, I guess FINCA, the methodology was so powerful then. There's stuff we did back then. I can't believe the risks we took. Maybe we were stupid. We didn't think there were risks, or we didn't understand them. But I literally set up that program in Uganda in 2 weeks, hired a lawyer, registered an NGO, hired a credit officer, trained her, went out, created 4 village banks like in Kimantu, and then I left. And I didn't come back for 5 months. So I came back, didn't know what I would find. I went out to Kimantu village. It was completely changed. These same women who had been in this school and looking intimidated and scared and, my God, what are we getting into? They're just breathed with smiles. And the same woman who had been afraid to borrow $50, I asked her, so, you know, how did you like the experience? You know, what were you able to do? And she said, well, I've been able to set up a small stand here and sell fruits and vegetables. And I also made pay for transportation to sell my mangoes in Jinja now with this loan, so I'm earning money. So there's just one thing I don't like about it. I said, well, what's that? And she said, the loans are too small. I need more money. There was another woman, I said, so how has your life changed since you joined this FINCA Village Bank? And she said, well, the skin on my knees is smooth. And I said, oh, well, that's interesting, but what's that got to do with FINCA? She said, well, now that I'm contributing, well, before I contributed money to the house, I used to have to crawl across the dirt floor of my house on my knees and beg my husband for money to buy salt. So now he has to crawl across the floor and beg me for money because I'm now the source of income. So that was the experience starting up FINCA Uganda. Now I went back 20 years later, which was a great experience because I had not been in 20 years. This was very recently. This was like last year, and I went to that village, and I met the women. They had prepared a big celebration, and I spoke to one woman, and I said, "So, how are you doing now?" And she said, "Well, I've got now 5 acres of sugar cane that I was able to buy and cultivate, and I sell that, and I earn $15,000 a year just from that. I still have the business I started with clothing, but now I don't just sell clothes here in Kimantu. I sell them in 5 other villages, And that's my motorcycle there that I use to get around. And she smiled and said, Mr. Scofield, that 50,000 shilling loan you gave me back then, 20 years, transformed my life. Now, of course, not all the women were even alive still. Some of them had sadly died. Not all of them had prospered to that degree. There was one woman whose husband had recently died, and she looked very, very scared and very vulnerable. But I was pleased to see, because the town itself was transformed. They had a new school. Everybody had crops. Everybody had vegetables. And I harkened back to that first experience when I'd been there 20 years ago. And I remember I talked to the village chief, and he said, you know, Mr. Scofield, when you first came here and you spoke to the women, and after you left, they met every week by themselves. And we were asking ourselves, what are they doing? What are they talking about? Are they going to divorce us? You know? He said, but when the money started coming in, we saw this is a new thing.
You have 5 minutes.
Sorry?
You have 5 minutes.
Good heavens! Wow, did it go fast for you guys? Jesus. Oh, that's too bad. All right, well now I know how much time I need. I'm gonna then break to cut to the chase, because I know you're going to judge me at the end whether I should have been talking about gender or not. So I have a fantastic team, about 12,000 people worldwide. My chief operating officer is a woman, Andre Simon. She was my deputy, and then she got headhunted and ran an organization called Women for Women for 5 years. They didn't treat her well, so I lured her back. So when Andre came back, I said, Andre, look, I'm pretty happy that we have a lot of women on the top management team, but I'm really not happy that in our 23 subsidiaries, I don't see it. You know, we only have one woman CEO. So I charge you, and my deputy at that time, the woman Sona, and I said, I charge both of you to create a women's group in FINCA whose sole job is to move more women more quickly into the top management of the subsidiaries. So they went to work, and 6 months later we had 2 women CEOs, new ones. One in the Congo, fantastic woman, Mami, who started as a credit officer about 7 years ago. Now she's the freaking CEO of a bank. I mean, just amazing woman. And then another one, Margarita, running Kosovo. And then my own deputy, former deputy, Sona's running Guatemala. So I said, Andre, you guys are doing a great job. And she looked at me and said, we're not finished yet. I said, what are you talking about? So to cut to the chase, Andre is now my co-CEO, and she's going to take over completely on the 1st of January of 2016. Not only that, but FINCA has 2 entities. As Elisa explained, we have a holding company, and we still have the foundation. And I've named my former deputy, also a woman, executive director of the foundation. Now, lest you think I'm riding into the sunset, don't be alarmed. I will remain president for life of the foundation on the African model. So, anyway, I guess we need to go to the Q&A. I do have a lot more to talk about, but we'll find the time.